Hi guys, Harry Otis here, professional trader for 20 years now. Started my career in 2005 and still alive in 2026. So today, this is a picture of the S&P 500, the market. Okay, today Monday, the 27th of July, the first day of the last week of the month. Okay, it started off bid, but then it came down to finish basically flat. Okay, because the market is under a lot of stress today. There's a big stress test going on under the hood in this market, and it belies exactly what we've been talking about during this whole chop zone. Okay, and we'll get to that shortly and what it means, but first let's talk about the technical picture. Guys, we're still in the chop zone. We are still neutral. Okay, if we bring in the moving averages, trading, we hit the 50 and then came all the way back down below the 50. So I guess you can say we're like we're not bullish for sure. We're at least neutral. Okay, so I'm gonna say we're neutral if we're still in the chop zone. I'll switch to bullish if we break to new highs. Okay, so technically speaking, neutral. Okay, what about the sentiment? Sentiment is that fear. We still haven't gotten out of this fear gauge. Okay, people still buying puts. We're not out of it yet. Okay, it's still fearful, which is good. Okay, this is very, very good for the bulls because we're close to highs and we're at fear already. A lot of people positioning for a very, very big down move. Okay, so let's get to the stress test, the main event. Okay, what do I mean by a stress test? Okay, the market, the SPY, is what I always look at to make decisions of whether I want to go long or short or how I want to position myself. Okay, it's very important to know market direction. Okay, and we want to know if we're bulls that the market is strong overall. Okay, so this market is being stressed. Why? Well, because semiconductors, we had big news in the semiconductor space, down big on heavy volume. Okay, SMH. Now we are getting this head and shoulders that could be a confirmation of it. We don't know yet. Okay, we have this head and shoulders. We thought this could have been a trap for the bears, but no, it never passed above this point of 620-ish. So it's still in effect. The head and shoulders still in effect. Okay, and this is putting a lot of pressure on the market. It doesn't have to be this way. I mean, it could cover the gap here before going up. Here, meaning this level. Let me mark it so you guys see. Okay, right here is a gap. Okay, which is at the 522-ish level. Could very well do that. We don't know. Okay, we've been saying this whole time, this market is being dragged down by the semiconductor space because this is a leading space, okay? And you see that on huge volume. Could this be the last day? Who knows? We don't know. We've been saying that this market is going to have an albatross around its neck, that being the semi space. We don't know where it settles, okay? And once it does settle, I expect this market, the breath, to go out of extreme fear and into greed, okay? But we don't know when that happens. So I'm going to say here that the stress test to me is being passed. It doesn't look like it, but it's being passed because the market itself, the SPY, is holding up very, very well despite carnage, if you will, in the semiconductor space. Okay, I mean, the QQQ, which is the tech index, is not doing as well. This is in trouble. It's going with SMH. So I don't even have to look at the QQQs. You just have to look at the SMH. This is leading everything, okay, in the tech space. So it's telling you, look at this negativity. We're down from 670 down to 550. We lost 120 points. Okay, that's, what is that, 30%? No, a sixth. Okay, 16, 15%. 15% drop, that's pretty big for tech. Okay, so this is why you have SPY struggling. Okay, however, today we did have news on the war front. Okay, we had the US and Iran pause fighting. So Trump dismisses concerns of dwindling stockpiles and ammunition. Okay, the main event here, the fact that the market held up better, I'm guessing, is because oil on this war news took a hit. Remember, we were saying that we were hoping, we were suspecting that it's going to form a lower high, and so far it looks like it. Okay, gap down. Oil is down, what, 9%? 9.5% on dovish news. Okay, so this is another high, a lower high. Okay, can we go meet the lows? Yes, if peace is done. And you can hear Trump saying that, doing the exact same thing that he did last time in terms of trying to get an exit for this war. He's touting up the nuclear question. He goes, Iran is not going to have a nuclear weapon. So he's going to try to make it seem that he stopped Iran getting a nuclear weapon in order to, get out of this war to save face, because he's not winning. Okay, so he wants to get out of it. We suspected, and you can see like the U.S. 10-year was stressed right at the stressing point. There's always, right at the, the Rubicon, he always finds a way to go lower. Okay, right when the system is about to break, he, turns around. Okay, turns it all around, and you see it in oil. And now we formed, this looks like a high, unless we're back on and you have like an island reversal, you don't know. But so far, so good. This oil going down is good for the economy. It's good for everything else, not tech. Okay, well, maybe it's good for tech too, but this is what is going to help with this market breadth going forward to turn from extreme fear to much higher, to like greed. Okay, so we have oil, which is now going to become a tailwind if there is follow through on the peace talks and things get better. Okay, we don't know yet. It's all in flux. Okay, so but we suspect that's the case because look, the war actually got worse when the Houthis opened a second front across from the Red Sea, and yet oil never went higher than, what was it, 92.5, less than these spikes here. Okay, and you can argue that it's worse now. Now you have, the Houthis attacking ships on one end, Iran attacking the Strait of Hormuz. So supply is coming online, guys. There are mitigating factors you are not aware of. That supply is being met. Okay, we were awash in oil, and we're going to be awash in oil going forward, especially when this war ends. Okay, so you have this oil and war trade turning around, which is a positive for the market. Okay, so that's why I think the stress test is being passed by this market, and it all depends when SMH finds a bottom. Could it be this gap? Who knows? Okay, we don't know. Like if you have a measured move, it could drop all the way down to 460. Okay, and you might have the QQQs. That would be crazy if it drops all the way to the breakout point of 636, which is right here. See this previous breakout? That would be nuts. And it would be all driven by SMH. I guess SMH would have to drop itself to the breakout point or close to it, or maybe when the RSI gets oversold. Who knows? You just don't know where this will end. And you don't know where the market will end. Okay, we could still drop to the lows and even lower. And maybe we can, I don't think we'll retest the previous high because the market shows more strength than just tech. We might just undercut these lows, sucker people in before going up. Because by this point, if we ever do reach here, we're going to be at extreme fear. This index is going to be at 1. Okay, so that would be a good point. Okay, we're not out of the woods yet. We are neutral here in terms of the technicals, but overall the fundamentals are much stronger. This is why I am bullish over the longer term. Okay, if this war gets settled, I'm probably bullish in the shorter term as well. Even if the semis go down, the semis will test this, drag the market down. Like the semis will go down 5%, the market might go down 1. The semis go down another 5%, the market might go down 1.5. Okay, we could drop another 2-3% as the semis drop 5 to 10. Okay, we just don't know. I just think that the market outperforms on the downside the semiconductor space, if that makes sense. Okay, so let's go to what I think is going to be a big driver this week. Okay, we have the Fed meeting coming out. Okay, everybody thinks that Fed Watch tool, the 29th, they are going to probably stand pat. That's not 100%. It has to be 67% before they stand pat. But for the whole year, has things changed as oil tanked 9% today? Not pretty much. 8% chance of standing pat, 92% chance of a hike or 2 hikes. Probably 2, they're thinking. Okay, so it hasn't really changed yet. Okay, we have to see oil sustainably go down before this changes dramatically. Okay, I don't think he cuts. I'm telling you, I don't think he cuts before the midterms at least. Okay, that's my view. Excuse me, not cuts. I don't think he hikes. Sorry, for sure he won't cut. But I don't think he hikes before the midterms at least, and probably not this year. Okay. So we will see. We'll have to see what goes on going forward. Okay, so the one thing that we have to look forward now is the Fed on Wednesday, but we have a slew of earnings. Okay, on Wednesday we have Visa, Coca-Cola. On that's Tuesday. Sorry, tomorrow after hours. On Wednesday we have the big tech earnings coming in. Microsoft. You can see Microsoft here. See, right at levels where, it's trapped in a level here. We don't know if it's going to go up or higher. It seems very, very neutrally. Neutrally, if that's a word. I have no idea if it goes up or down. Okay, so if you want to play these earnings, you have to structure it non-directionally, okay? We have Microsoft. We have Meta, of course. Same thing, in a zone. We don't know wherever it goes. It could break lower or higher. It's unknown. Okay, it's very, 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 very tough to play this. I would play them non-directionally, triangles if you want, or wait till after the announcement. Okay, we went through my strategy of how we would play these earnings games in a previous video. Okay, but so far, that's what you have to do. Non-directional, especially. I think we should be non-directional in our views until August, till the end of August, for a month and a week. Okay, so keep that in mind because we're still in the summer doldrums. We might drift lower, whatever, but I don't think we crash lower. So you want to play generally a non-directional premium selling type of strategy, if you will. I mean, you could also take a risk on the long side, but that's a whole other thing. It's better to be safe and play a non-directional strategy for the next month. Okay, that is my view going forward. And what do we have on Thursday? We have Apple. Apple is faring much better than the rest. Okay, this is much because I guess it's like avoided all of the hyperscaler type of infrastructure spend, so it's doing better than the rest. But we also have Amazon, which has not avoided that. So you see, Amazon, Meta, all of these guys are in like some kind of consolidation sideways type action. Okay, so you want to play it non-directionally. It'd be better to be safer to wait till after the call, after the earnings call, and then enter. Like if it's bad earnings and it gaps down and covers this gap, I would sort of put much lower. Okay, that's the safer strategy if you want to play it. Okay, it's up to you guys. Okay, so today, this is what the earnings going forward. Okay, and of course we have just one trade. We have, Bloom Energy that expires on Friday. We have a put that expires this Friday, but the earnings too are coming up Tuesday after hours. Okay, I have half a position. I'm waiting. It did touch this support area, which I said I was going to get long, but I'm waiting till the earnings. Okay, I want to see right before earnings tomorrow if I want to enter another trade, and it'll probably be another half position. Okay, so I don't mind going long at this point. That would be a great play to go long 130, and if it gaps down, I might even have to sell the 100 puts. That would be great. Okay, I would love that. Okay, so that's how we're going to play our Bloom Energy going forward. Right, so that's it, guys. SPY stress test. It's being tested. Okay, it's holding up very, very well despite the SMH and semiconductor sell-off, thanks to like China. China is doing its own AI in a cheaper and better way, and it's scaring the AI space, and everybody's super scared. Okay, and yet everything, like, it's affecting the QQQs a lot, and we don't know where the bottom is. The thing is to wait until SMH sort of has some kind of bottom, we don't know yet. We're still dealing in a negative pattern here. We haven't seen the bottom, but we like how SPY is at this point. Okay, we also have oil was a help today, helped a lot by this big down move of 9.5%. We hope it continues. We know that the mid to longer term play on oil is to go short. It is a terrible investment. You want to go short this space, trust me. It's not. It's so we are so awash in oil and in substitutes for oil. Okay, so it's not just that. I'm talking about crude. Okay, crude itself. Okay, maybe not diesel or gasoline short term, but crude. Yes, we are awash in it. Okay, and earnings. We have Microsoft. We have all these earnings that are basically. The picture is basically everything is like Microsoft sideways. Meta. Okay. Sideways. Everything is sideways. You want to play them non-directionally if you're going to play them, or you want to be safe, wait till after, and then play them non-directionally after the move. Okay, and of course, Apple is the only one that is sort of like bucking the trend and showing real strength here. Okay, so that's it, guys. That's it. SPY stress test, passing it. Let's see what happens. Remember, earnings coming up, a slew of earnings, and we have the Fed. The Fed, they're probably not going to do anything in terms of rates this meeting, but we want to see what Warsh says. He's probably going to still sound hawkish. He's going to sound tough. Okay, that's what I think. But I don't know if the market's going to really, really react that badly to it. Okay, because the real test comes in September, October, okay, and then December. Okay, it's all right before the midterms and right when he says he's gonna raise rates. Let's see if he talks tough by September, and before September what happens, because if you see oil really tanking before September, he's not going to hike. Okay, so let's see what happens. This is a big week and the final week of July. Later.